What happens when a preseason game suddenly feels like a real test for the future of an NFL franchise? That's exactly what happened in Week 2, because the spotlight wasn't just on wins and losses. It was on Fernando Mendoza, C.J. Stroud, Justin Herbert, Brock Purdy, and some major questions that could follow these teams straight into the regular season. For the Las Vegas Raiders, the biggest storyline was impossible to miss. Fernando Mendoza, the No. 1 overall pick and reigning Heisman Trophy winner, was getting another extended look after an impressive NFL debut. In that first preseason game against Arizona, Mendoza completed 10 of 16 passes for 97 yards and a touchdown, leading a 79-yard scoring drive in a 27-14 loss. The Raiders didn't win, but the rookie gave fans something much more valuable at this stage, a reason to believe. And then came Houston. The Raiders had spent the week practicing against the Texans, which meant Mendoza wasn't simply seeing another preseason defense. He had already experienced the intensity of joint practices against NFL players who weren't going to make things easy for him. Raiders coach Clint Kubiak made it clear Mendoza would get plenty of work, and that turned this game into another important measuring stick for the rookie. But here's where things got complicated. Houston had planned to rest most of its starters after the joint practices, yet C.J. Stroud was still expected to take the field for a series, with the starting offensive line in front of him. Stroud ultimately did play, and he made that one opportunity count, leading Houston on a touchdown drive before leaving the game. The Texans also had a much more painful storyline hanging over the matchup. Second-year wide receiver Jaden Higgins suffered a torn ACL during the joint practice and was ruled out for the entire 2026 season. Higgins had been coming off a promising rookie year with 41 catches, 525 yards and 6 touchdowns, so his absence isn't just a preseason footnote. It creates a real hole in Houston's receiving group and changes the opportunities for several other players. And that tells you something about the preseason. The scoreboard matters far less than what teams discover along the way. Houston needed to evaluate its depth. Las Vegas needed to see how quickly its top rookie could adjust. Every rep was part of a much larger decision-making process, and for Mendoza especially, every snap was another piece of evidence about whether he can eventually become the quarterback Raiders fans hope they drafted. Then, later that night in Los Angeles, another major quarterback story unfolded. Justin Herbert finally took his first preseason snaps of 2026, and this wasn't just another exhibition appearance. It was the first time Herbert was running the Chargers' new offensive system in an actual game, with Mike McDaniel coordinating the offense. After years of expectations surrounding Herbert's talent, the question now is whether this new partnership can unlock another level of his game. The Chargers entered that matchup with plenty of optimism, but also some serious concerns up front. Left tackle Rashawn Slater remained sidelined, while center Tyler Biadasz was dealing with a knee issue after being carted off during the joint practice with San Francisco. That's a particularly important problem because even the most creative offensive system can't function properly if the quarterback doesn't have enough time to operate. And there was another player worth watching, second-year running back Amarian Hampton. After an injury-interrupted rookie season, Hampton showed flashes of what he could become, finishing 2025 with 737 scrimmage yards and 5 total touchdowns in 9 games. His performance alongside Herbert could be one of the most important developments for Los Angeles heading into the regular season. Across the field, San Francisco was also giving its starters more work. Kyle Shanahan had rested 36 players in the preseason opener, but the 49ers planned to put multiple starters on the field against Los Angeles. Brock Purdy was among the players expected to make his preseason debut, while rookie receiver Dazon Stribling was looking for another opportunity after catching 7 passes for 63 yards in the opener. But perhaps the biggest takeaway from this entire night is that preseason football is becoming less about the final score and more about controlled experiments. Coaches are testing quarterbacks, they're evaluating young players, they're protecting veterans, and they're trying to figure out which weaknesses could become major problems once the games actually count. For Mendoza, the challenge is learning how to respond when defenses start making him uncomfortable. For Stroud, it's about getting back into game rhythm. For Herbert and McDaniel, it's about discovering whether their new offensive partnership looks as promising on the field as it does on paper. And for Purdy and the 49ers, it's about getting important players ready without taking unnecessary risks. That's why these games matter. Nobody is handing out the Lombardi Trophy in August, but teams are quietly building the versions of themselves that will show up when September arrives. The preseason may not count in the standings, but for players fighting for jobs, rookies fighting to prove themselves, and quarterbacks trying to define the next chapter of their careers, every snap counts. And if Week 2 showed us anything, it's that the NFL's biggest stories can begin long before the regular season officially starts. If you found this update helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Prime Wire, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest news. Thanks for watching.